What's happening, everybody in the chat? Welcome.
What up?
Welcome in. How's it going? Welcome to episode 16 of the Galactic Window Space Podcast. My name is Nick. I'm known as the Orbital Alliance here on the internet.
And I'm Tan, also known as Chasing the Milk.
Yes, you are. What's up, Tan?
What's going on, bro?
Dude, I'm ready for tonight. Are you ready for tonight?
I am. I'm ready.
We have some active friends here in the chat. What's happening, everybody? I see we got Tony, we got Kayla, we got Tiffy, Daniel, we got Ryan. What's happening, everybody?
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We hope you guys enjoy the show. Grab some snacks, some drinks, and yeah.
We're just getting ready to launch here. So, if you guys are brand new to the show, welcome. If this is your first time, if you're a returning guest, glad to have you back. That means we did something right in a past episode. Hopefully more right things than wrong things. But we do this podcast because we love talking about space and astronomy. And that's really what it's all about. The Galactic Window Space Podcast exists to help share the perspectives of unique individuals because we all view the night sky differently, and we want to have a platform to share those unique perspectives. So tonight is no different. Normally we have a guest, but we also like to do these episodes where it's just me and Tan, and we have some good discourse and with a healthy smattering of shenanigans.
We're going to be debating politics tonight.
Oh, no. Yes, this is like, presidential
Exclusive
candidates, Tan and Nick, the astronomy party. It's like, that's what we do.
Nick, what are we going to be talking about tonight?
Yeah, so we got a fun topic queued up for you guys. Something we haven't really talked a ton about in past episodes. I think we've had a few moments where we've like dabbled in here, but tonight we're gonna get a little bit more into the meat and potatoes of human spaceflight. So what does it mean for people to be in space? What's a little bit of the history of it? And what are some of the biggest current events that are happening right now, even this week? Like, what are humans doing in space? Because we have humans in space. That's pretty dope, right? So we thought it'd be worth talking about.
This is going to be... I'm not an expert. In fact, there's not much I know when it comes to human spaceflight. So, Nick, if you would do the honors and just carry us through this podcast, that would be so dope.
It would be my pleasure, dude. I've been so immersed in human spaceflight in my head for so long. I am no expert, but I am certainly passionate about it. And I try to pay attention to as much current event news as possible. So I think we have enough to carry. But I wanted to ask you a question, Tan, right up top. When you think of our podcast, like what's a memorable moment you've had from a past episode?
Off the top of my head, probably when I asked you white or dark meat.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's hard to pick a memorable moment. It's all been fun. I was actually looking at some of our older episodes, and just I don't know. It's so different now. Like my camera kind of works. The lighting's much better. The microphone sounds a lot better. So it's not memorable in the sense of like, man, I won't ever forget that. But it's a reminder for me that, like, man, that was just, less than 10-ish episodes ago or something like that.
Yep.
And, yeah, we've come a long way.
We really have. And that's, like, the fun part about doing something consistently is you can see that change happen incrementally in little ways, like the tech changing, the redialing in our setups, the quality gets a little bit better here. It's kind of cool. You can watch it progress over time.
Yep.
One of my favorite things I was thinking about was episode 8. I think it's kind of a sleeper episode. Not gonna lie, because it was the one time I did a solo episode where it was audio only, so there's no video. It's here on YouTube, but it was my first ever fully edited, post-production edited audio podcast. I've never done that. I've made hundreds of videos in my life, possibly even in the thousands at this point, but podcasts, it was like, nope, zero. So it was really cool to have a chance to do that. And it's a shorty too. It's like 20 minutes or 25 minutes. But it's just me talking about space. So if you guys are interested, definitely go back, watch some old episodes this week. pull it up on your phone while you're driving or while you're at work and you're just like zoning out during spreadsheets or whatever you're working on. Pull up an old episode, give it a listen, and hopefully you'll learn something and have a good time. There's always something to find there.
Yeah. I also just noticed Elliot with 1 T's in here too. He was it episode 6?
He was episode 6.
Yeah,
we have
that was a solid one, man. So we got some veterans in here. Yeah. If you guys are looking for something to listen to, and you want to support your boys, consider listening to some of the older episodes. You might learn something, and of course, we want you guys along the ride for the newer episodes as well. But that's the beauty about these podcasts is that even if you don't make it to a live, you can always revisit them, and even us too. It's kind of crazy to think that one day you and I won't be here, but hopefully our podcast will still live on and someone can learn something from us.
For sure. Yeah, creating a little bit of an archival legacy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the best way to do that, to find the podcast and how to watch these episodes, is to follow my channel, the Orbital Alliance, which is where we're currently hosting these episodes. That may change at one point if things like really launch. But for now, it's on the Orbital Alliance here on YouTube. So be sure to stay subscribed to the Orbital Alliance and hit that notification bell, of course, because it will give you notification every time my channel goes live or posts a new video. So whether we pre-stream or do a live stream, like you will get that notification and you'll be like, boom, here I am watching the latest episode. So that's the best way to do it. You also can find us on YouTube Music under podcasts. So if YouTube Music is your dedicated platform of choice for the audio experience of your life, just go to the podcast tab, search the Galactic window. You'll find all the episodes there. And you can toggle between the audio and video modes within the app, which is great. So you can, if you're like, hey, I'm driving and I don't want to burn all my video data, just switch to audio and it'll be clean in your car, you know? Pro tip.
Nice. Nice.
Tiffy says, I'm here for Nick's laugh. I should say giggle. Yeah. Well, there was a taste. We got a little bit right there. Yeah, like I can guarantee there will be a hefty amount of Nick giggles this episode. That's for sure.
We love Nick giggles.
And Tony says, send the podcast to space. The aliens need to hear from Nick and Tan. Yes.
I don't know what I would say to him.
Dude, that's a good question. What would we say?
China #1.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's a tough one.
I would say, here, enjoy this Taco Bell because it's better than any food you have on your planet.
Yeah. This is the only thing that is considered positive on planet Earth right now.
Yeah, right. True story. Oh, man. Oh, that's an interesting hypothetical. What would you say to aliens? It's something we got to ask our guests coming up in the future.
Yeah, that could be its own little podcast too.
I mean, aliens in general. We need to bring Giorgio Tsoukalos, if that's how you say his name. I think
is that the I'm not saying it's aliens.
Aliens. It's the aliens guy from the History Channel.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we gotta bring him on.
Show.
I'm not joking. I would love to talk to him. I watch this show all the time. Man.
What do you guys think?
Should we get Giorgio on the show?
Yeah, easy.
Gosh. We'll make it happen. That's a promise. That's such a unique take. I mean, we've kind of been pretty heavily immersed in the astrophotographer realm, but yeah. Elliot says, I think that guy's coming to my city. No way. Dude, can you put in a good word for us?
Yeah, dude. We need to make that happen for sure.
Okay, here's something I want to do tonight, and I want to ask you guys who are here in the chat, you guys who are hanging out with us. This is a really big deal.
This is huge, guys.
Okay, I'm going to do something here. Where's my phone?
This is so big. Guys, this is so big.
So we're going to be doing something in this episode, and we need your help. We need it right now. So what I want you guys to do in the chat, I want you to submit perhaps your favorite space word or space phrase. Limit it to 5 words or less. Let's just start there. But I want you guys to pummel us in the chat. We're not going to stop until we got at least like 10 in there. Pummel us in the chat. Give us a space word, a space topic.
Pummel us in the chat.
Yeah.
Guys, you heard it from Nick. Pummel us right now.
Exactly. That's what needs to happen. give us your space words, space topics, or space phrases.
Oh, that's a good one from Zalero.
Zalero,
Yeah.
what you got? Okay. My telescope is a time machine. Okay.
Why is there a limit? Because we want to keep it short and sweet.
Yeah, we don't need to be too complicated.
Yeah.
Space is really super fake. Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Oh,
or
man.
astronaut eating ice cream. Just a few words. No, no right or wrong.
And you guys are gonna be Nova. Yeah, that's our dog.
Nice.
Okay, may the force.
May
be
the
with
force
you.
be with you.
What do you guys
High
got? Don't be afraid to put your thoughts in there. It could be a planet. Give us a planet name, your favorite planet. Maybe
It could be one word. Yeah, it could literally just be one word.
Honestly, the one words are probably the most helpful. So, name a star,
Saturn.
name a constellation, name a planet, name an object you would use to view the night sky, name an astronomer, something like that.
Yep. Name your favorite app, favorite space song, maybe. Don't overthink it.
Yep.
Don't overthink it. There we go. We
Saturn.
got Saturn,
Nice.
Andromeda,
You guys are figuring it out. That's good stuff. Andromeda. Yep.
brain fart. Come on,
brain-
Tiff.
Is brain fart a constellation? Is that
Space Nurse. That's a thing. ARP 199. Tan Man.
Ooh, Pillars of Creation? That's good.
We no tans allowed.
There
There you go.
Spaceman by the Killers.
Yeah.
Well, we'll put in Spaceman. We might adapt some of these because there's like good words in some of these phrases that I think we could use.
Yep.
All right, you guys, give us 3 more.
Yeah, we need 3 more.
Three
if you guys
more.
are just tuning in, we just need 3 little one-liners or words that are space themed. Don't overthink it. It literally could just be your favorite planet. It could be your favorite constellation, asterism, star.
Yep. You guys have got some really good complex concepts jumping in here, but take it down like 3 steps in the complexity. Yeah, nouns are really good. Help us with some nouns. Planet 7,
Pluto's a planet.
Planet 9. Pluto is a planet. Okay, that's good. Let's look for one more. Give us your best.
Flurf.
Flurf.
Said flurf. Gonna stir up the pot tonight.
Hydrogen alpha.
Dark skies or my heart cries.
Ooh.
Dude, that's gonna be like a good emo song.
Yes, it is. Dude, we got to get Will to write that.
Ooh, dark skies or my heart cries.
Okay. All right, rocket ship. That's a good last one. Thank you, everybody.
Yep.
You guys will be seeing what we're gonna do with all this throughout the episode. So stick around, and you might get your mention featured here throughout the show. So we're trying something new. Bear with us. But thank you guys for the suggestions. That's gonna be good. All right, should we jump into the meat and
Let's
maybe
jump
the
into the
potatoes?
Yep.
Potatoes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Must be said. Tan, do you like Lord of the Rings?
I've attempted to watch some of it. I do, but I just never got a chance to finish them. If I have some time, I do. I planned on watching just all of them.
I just want to let you know that I will drive down to St. Louis to make this happen.
Yeah, it's one of those shows. It's one of those movies that I know I would like because I like Game of Thrones and that kind of nerdy stuff. I just haven't had a chance to sit down and actually watch it all.
Fair enough. Well, I'm gonna do my best to. I'd be a poor excuse of a friend to not enable you as much as possible to finish these movies. So
I
just so you
appreciate
know,
it.
I'm gonna badger you and do my best. But
Okay.
we can make a Lord of the Rings episode of the podcast at some point.
Let's do it.
But for now, let's shift gears into the main topic of tonight. We're gonna talk human space flight, people in space. It's gonna be so much fun, dude. There's a lot when it comes to human space flight. We've been in space since, gosh, was it 1961?
Sputnik. That's like right.
Well, so Sputnik was uncrewed in 1957. I know
Okay.
that. So thereafter, I can't remember when Gagarin, or was he 59 or 60? I'm going to look that up. We're going to look it up. But Yuri Gagarin was the first human in space. He was a Russian cosmonaut. And let's see, when in space? Okay, yeah, it was 1961, April 12th. Which
Damn, that's a long ass time ago, bro.
It is. Remember, we talked about that date a little bit with Tim Bailey 3 episodes ago. We talked to them about Yuri's Night, which is that space party.
Yeah, yeah.
It's on April 12th every year, which is the day that Yuri Gagarin went to space. So we just didn't know the year. That was the kicker. It's been a long time that we've been sending humans to space, and then thereafter, the Americans put Alan Shepard into space. He was the first American human to go into space. After that, then thus the space race began because America was behind the 8 ball with getting an artificial satellite into space. Then they were behind the 8 ball with getting a human into space. And also something to keep in mind too is there's a couple different kinds of space flight. There's orbital space flight and suborbital space flight. And the difference being orbital being you're going fast enough to continually go around planet Earth, and suborbital means you're going slow enough that gravity is going to influence your flight and pull you back down to Earth before you can make it around. So you're not going quick enough, and you're generally not flying as high in the sky. So those are kind of the two things. And I believe Yuri Gagarin was an orbital flight. They made it far enough out to get him to go around planet Earth, and I think he just barely made it around once. So it's about 90 minutes of space flight time. And then Alan Shepard was a suborbital flight, so he hopped, which he didn't go around planet Earth. He just kind of went up, made it past the point of space, and then came back down. So yeah, there's a lot of little details in the history of spaceflight that are important, but those are kind of the critical beginning points. Dan, do you know about the Kármán line?
Never heard of it.
You never heard of the Kármán line? Okay, sweet. Chat, have you guys heard of the Kármán line? Sound off in there and let us know. So there's kind of a internationally agreed upon, for the most part, line in the sky that is, once you're above this, you're in space. And I believe Kármán was a Hungarian scientist. I could be wrong. Someone has to Google that and fact check me. But this Kármán, it was named after him, and it's about 50 miles up. So that's like, what's the? I can't remember how many kilometers that is. But yeah, 50 miles up in the sky. So when you go over that point, it's like you've been certified to fly in space. You now have your wings. The Kármán line is a really important part of that. And it's still a big part of the the conversation today about like what constitutes an astronaut. It's pretty crazy. Sorry, I got like really thirsty. I'm gonna get a drink here real quick.
Everyone hydrate. Kármán Sandiego.
Yeah.
Is that the detective? That sounds so familiar.
It's that female detective with the red hat.
Oh yeah,
the big red hat. There used to be a
just
TV
unlocked
show.
a memory.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of Kármán Sandiego in ages.
It was like, where in the world is Kármán Sandiego?
I don't remember that part.
It was the theme song. Who else knows that?
Very
that's
hydrated
really
here.
funny. Well,
Nice.
depends on your definition of hydration, Tiffy. I think that's there. Daniel confirmed it. I also see that NAR are we in Australia? Yeah, Tony's got it. Elliot likes it. That show. There's the bomb. Yes, it was. It's kind of like Where's Waldo? It's like where is this person? Anyway, yes, more singing from Nick. No, less singing from Nick. Nobody needs that. Everyone's ears are bleeding at this point. So anyway, spaceflight. We've been continuing with many programs since then for getting humans into space, since those first few individuals. And as we developed rockets and spacecraft, we stopped sending people one at a time. We started sending 2 at a time with the Gemini program, and then 3 at a time with Apollo, then 7 at a time with the space shuttle. And then it kind of dwindled back again with the subsequent craft that we're launching now, like Starliner and Crew Dragon. Those are at 4 for now. I think they're rated for 7, but I think maybe they changed that a little bit. So there's been a varying level of capacity for getting humans to space throughout the years, and those programs have almost entirely been governmentally funded. So you're looking at NASA for America, ESA for the European Space Agency, Roscosmos is Russia, JAXA is Japan. Gosh, I'm like thinking about those are kind of the big players. The Canadian Space Agency, CSA. And then now there are even more countries that are contributing to the astronaut scene. Australia is naming its first few astronauts. India has astronauts now. The UAE has some. Israel has some. Yeah, there's people from all over the world who are participating, and they're primarily launching governmentally. There have been, oh my gosh, Lady Nerdette dropped.
Dude, we made it. We made it. Yeah, we made it.
We landed. We made it to the moon. $5 super sticker there in the chat. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Oh my gosh,
we might be able to get a Crunchwrap Supreme now and split it.
Yes, I think.
Yeah, dude.
I think so. You can feed it to me through your camera. I promise it'll work.
Thank you so much.
That much appreciated. Any of the support you guys are able to offer. By no means is it necessary to enjoy the podcast, but if you guys feel like you're learning something or you're enjoying hanging out with us, these conversations, you can hit the thanks button underneath the window on YouTube at any point, and you can support us financially. Of course, anything that we earn will go directly back into improving the podcast, whether it's purchasing equipment to make it more reliable or contributing to getting higher quality guests on the show. So just so you guys know where your support is going, we're extremely grateful, and it does matter to us very much. So thank you very much, Lady Nerdette. I'm going to hear it.
Yo!
Oh, what? No.
Galaxy!
What?
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, come on, Tiffy.
Tiffy just sent us $20.
$20? Okay.
Now we can get our own Taco Bell.
Yes. Yes,
we should have some kind of goal where if we reach a certain milestone, we could maybe splurge a little bit with some T-Bell.
Goodness. Okay, I'm going to feature these here just so we can make sure you guys get some screen time.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy, man.
There's Lady Nerdette. So grateful you're here. Oh, my goodness. I just can't. I'm kind of broken here. Dude, we just got to talk about rockets a little bit more. Maybe that's the game changer.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
And then let's feature Tiffy, our friend Tiffy from TikTok here. Thank you both so much. Thank you. Amazing. Yeah, back to it here really quick. So, gosh, we're talking about different countries sending astronauts and primarily being launched by governments, right? So that's a big thing because it kind of originated there. You needed government funding and support to do anything that ambitious. Rocket technology kind of in the 20th century was being discovered. So you needed to get authorization to do stuff like that. It was kind of a dangerous thing. And certainly if you're going to be putting humans on it, you needed the support of research agencies, not just some backyard hillbilly trying to like slingshot yourself into the sky.
Yeah.
So that's changed because at some point, as we started building the International Space Station and getting access to space with more frequent launches, private citizens purchase seats on government flights, which is sort of the first foray into commercial space flight, or at least space tourism. And those people, literally, you're spending like $30 million to get a seat on one of these government rockets. They're spending a ton of money.
That's wild, dude.
It is. It really is. And it also illustrates that launching with the government is unsustainable if we want to try to get more people into space. Like, there's no way that the average person could pull that off, which is something to keep in mind for later as we talk about this. So right now we're in this era at the dawn of commercial spaceflight. So companies like SpaceX, which is Elon Musk's company, Blue Origin, which is Jeff Bezos's company, Virgin Galactic, which is Richard Branson's company, Rocket Lab, Astra. I mean, there's like a whole host of these commercial companies that are coming out. They're private and they're getting government contracts and they're fulfilling government missions through those contracts, but they're not, they're not affiliated with NASA per se. So they're their own thing. However, the only single one that's technically rated for human spaceflight is SpaceX. So that's the only company on the planet right now is not only rated to launch humans, but they have been launching humans since 2020 successfully.
Shout out to SpaceX.
They're literally.
That's an incredible feat, dude.
It is. It really is. And it's been so exciting to watch because not only have they been pioneering different rockets, like new rocket technology, but they, of course, created a vehicle, the Crew Dragon. So it's just called Dragon, but they've had a cargo version and a crew version that can take humans. And they've been pioneering that, but they're building Starship, which is the next generation of rockets. They've been test flying those out of Texas for the last year or so, at least like the more full, complete versions of it. And it's been really exciting to watch them get people into space and to and from the space station. And I'm trying to think of what the number's at now, but I think humanity, we put well over 500 humans in space across all time at this point. I think maybe it's nearing 600.
500?
Yeah.
That's insane. I had no idea, dude.
Yeah.
I thought we were like maybe like in the low hundreds or something.
Sure. Yeah. And it's weird because like that's a fact that who goes out of their way to learn that, right? It's like that's kind of, it's not announced. It just kind of happened since 1961 up to now. That number just has steadily risen. And that's going to, I think at some point, if it were a graph, it's going to go up, 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 and then just shoot. Because once reusability for rockets, and this is where I'm going to call full circle in that comment, rapid reusability of rockets is happening right now. We have had partially reusable rockets, but making them fully reusable will bring down cost. So that $30 million price tag to buy a space tourist seat, went from $30 million to at some point maybe it's $100,000.
Dude,
maybe it's going to be $5,000, then maybe it's going to be the price of a plane ticket. The more we do it, the cheaper it gets, the more available it gets, and then you're going to start seeing that number of humans go through the roof. It's going to change. It's going to be insane.
What parts are we recycling or like reusing?
Yeah, so it depends on the launch system. So the particular rocket, let's use SpaceX as an example. They started building rockets with the Falcon 1, which was like a single engine rocket, totally expendable, just like launched and landed in the ocean, it just burns up. Then they built the Falcon 9, which has 9 rockets on the bottom, and it has 2 stages. So it separates into 2 parts with another rocket underneath the second stage to take it further. So the first part's called the booster. So it's kind of like gets you up as far as it can. You separate it, it sends that part away, and the rest of it goes on into space. Then it separates from the payload, like maybe the cargo capsule or the Crew Dragon or whatever it is, and sends that off. They started making that first stage, the booster, reusable. And by testing it with avionics, like aviation controls, like computers, and the rockets using your remaining fuel to send it back to where it launched and have it land upright. And they've been doing this successfully since 2015. I think they did land one successfully back then. And then they of course, in classic Elon fashion, they didn't, just settle there. They're like, no, we're not going to just land it on land. We're going to send a barge with a landing pad on it out into the ocean. And it's going to land in the ocean. So you now add in the variables of the launch pad being mobile and being on uneven waves, dealing with more weather, and all that stuff. And they had a ton of failures to start. You can go watch those videos. There's a compilation of them. They're really funny.
Cool to watch.
Yeah. Like SpaceX themselves made a kind of a comedy compilation of all the failures they had trying to learn how to land a rocket upright. Because it's like launching a water tower into the sky. And I don't know about you, Tan, but I've never attempted to like throw a water tower. But if I did, I can probably tell you it wouldn't work if I wanted to try to land it upright. It's hard enough to land a water bottle back on its like bottom end if you throw it up in the sky, right? Like now try a water tower. So they've been doing that, and they have been successfully doing it for years. And there are over 300 successful landings, I think, at this point. With the Falcon 9. So to answer your question, the first stage is what they're really focusing on, is making that returnable and refurbishable and reusable. Second stage is not reusable right now. It just ends up in orbit until it decays and then burns up in the atmosphere. And then the vehicle is reusable. So right now it's 2 out of the 3 parts. And they will be phasing out the Falcon 9 here shortly in a few years. They're not going to work on making that second stage reusable because they're building Starship, which is the bigger one, which is technically supposed to be rated to take 100 people into space in one ship, which is insane. So but they're launching that in 2 parts. So there's the booster, which is called Super Heavy, and then there's Starship, which gets stacked on top of it. So that all launches together, and you can watch the 4 test flights they've done with the full stack. Go to YouTube or X, where Elon posts most of that stuff, and you can watch those test flight replays. They do these really cool compilation videos of the highlight reels, more so. And they Elliot mentioned Falcon Heavy. I'm going to talk about that in a second too. Thanks, dude. Super Heavy and Starship. Starship will be fully reusable because it can land upright. But it'll have people in it, so it's like your vehicle. It'll come back, land upright. It'll land on Mars, land on the Moon, land on Earth. And then the Super Heavy can also come back just like the Falcon 9 first stage. But the kicker is they have a launch tower that's like a big scaffolding, and it has these 2 arms that they call the chopsticks. And the booster is going to come in and land between the 2 arms, and it's going to catch it. And then drop it, and it's going to move it over, land it like a crane drop it on like the launch pad again, and then they can refuel it, refurbish it, and let it launch again right from the stand. It never leaves. So the whole point of rapid reusability is to lower that cost. So if you can lower that cost and increase the number of people in the craft, you've now, by whatever the factor of the margin, exponential margin, it's going to be, humans are going to be going to space every day by the hundreds. Probably within the next 50 years. But anyway, that's pretty crazy. So I know I've been long-winded here, but it's been fun to kind of talk about it.
Yeah, I'm just soaking all of this in.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, I can talk about Falcon Heavy really quick. So SpaceX did sort of an augmented version of Falcon 9, which was basically 3 Falcon 9s strapped together. Literally it's what it is. And except there's no second stage on the outer 2. So they basically use 2 boosters and one in the middle. It's like a full Falcon 9 stack. And it's so do the math. So 9 engines underneath, that's 27 rocket engines. And they use it for heavy payloads. I don't think they've launched humans on a Falcon Heavy. I think it's only been cargo. But those are fun to watch because 2 boosters coming back, landing side by side, is so much fun to watch. They literally come down like one after the other, and they land on 2 landing pads like right near each other. Those are a marvel to watch. So
I've never seen that. It's pretty.
You
cool.
haven't?
Yeah, I haven't seen.
Dude, it's insane. Like, it's so cool. And Elliot also said in the chat, I'm going to feature this here. Elon's car, the first test flight of Falcon Heavy back in 2018, they wanted to have a ridiculous payload to test. So they put Elon's original Tesla Roadster from 2008 on top, and they put a mannequin in a spacesuit driving the car. They called him Starman after David Bowie's song Starman. And they launched it into space, and technically Elon's car is in space right now. It never came back. It's kind of out in deep space, and it put on a really good show for space fans. It's pretty wild.
That's an interesting flex.
It's arguably the flexiest flex that ever flexed. I mean, name something else.
You can't. Yeah, that's incredible.
I mean, you can argue that the Romans took over half the world, the modern civilized world. I don't think it holds a candle. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's kind of spaceflight in a nutshell. I know there's like probably a million things to talk about, but I do want to take a little bit of a break, a breather here. We'll come back to the topic because I think it's time we did our first round of our new game. What do you think, Tan?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, chat. Whoever's here, I want you to guys get pumped because we're about to launch a new gamer. Let's put in the. I did pick a new song. Let's go with this. So we're gonna do. Well, it's like a little ravey there, dude. Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn that down. Galactic Graffiti is our newest game. For those of you guys who've been paying attention to the last 3 episodes, we've been doing a game called Lightspeed, which we may or may not do in a little bit. But this is a brand new game we want to pilot tonight. It's called Galactic Graffiti, and you guys have already participated. You guys gave us ideas for this. So what's going to happen in this game is Tan and I are going to draw your suggestions, and then you guys get to vote on who did it better. And we're going to do a couple rounds of this throughout the show. So this is round 1. So you guys get it? Do you understand that? So let me queue up the first recommendation here. Where did I throw my phone? back here. Tan, get your drawing app ready. We're gonna screen share. We'll show Tan's first. We'll let Tan draw this one. I'm gonna make this one a graphic here, so we know everybody knows the topic. All right, we're just gonna go with this. Are you ready, Tan?
Yeah, let's do it.
Chat, are you ready? Okay, here we go. This is the first one, and we get 10 seconds. Or no, let's do 15 seconds.
15 seconds.
Okay, I'm gonna start a timer. All right.
Do I need to present my screen or do I draw first?
Yeah, present your screen, and then we'll watch you draw live, and then I'll show mine afterwards too. Because we can only screen share one at a time.
That's right. Okay. All right.
Here it is. Okay, you guys you can see his screen. This is Galactic Graffiti. So here we go. I'm going to showcase our first topic here. And here we go. We got 15 seconds. Ready, set, go.
Spaceman.
Spaceman is the topic. Let's go. 15 seconds.
This is easy.
To draw an astronaut. Oh, no. This is so bad.
This is easy.
11, 12, 13.
Dude, there's no way 15 seconds.
Oh, time's up. Oh, God.
Yeah. Hell yeah,
that is
bro.
so short. That is so unbelievably short. There's not enough time to do that.
Touchpad for the win, baby.
Okay, I'm gonna pull mine up here.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Wait. There's mine. So here, I'm gonna switch between them. So here's Nick.
Your guy looks like he's taking a dump in space. He's got some Snickers floating around.
Space Snickers? Oh no. Oh man. Okay, so here's Tan's. I want you guys to vote.
Yes.
You guys get to vote here for the next 60 seconds. Drop in the chat. Here's Tan's.
He has no face.
And here's mine.
Yeah, you just got a lot of detail in the face. I like that.
Dude,
Man,
detail. That dude's got a cracked visor. That's.
We might have to do like
Tan's.
25 seconds.
Dude,
Mine
I
looks like
think
Cartman, bro.
Dude, Cartman in space. Okay, all right.
A medium. Yeah.
Okay, Nick or Tan in the chat, you guys. Even if it's one of you who just says it.
N or T, Nick or Tan.
I see Harmony says Tan, seriously. So maybe, I don't know if she's criticizing or voting for you.
She's definitely criticizing. I can always expect that.
Here's Tan's. Get a good look at Tan's. And here's Nick's. Tan. Okay, we got to vote for Tan. All right, let's count it out. And last time
chat.
to vote. You get 10 seconds left to vote. In 10, 9, 8, 7,
Space Snickers.
6. Yeah, what's up, Dan?
Nick's in the lead.
5.
I think it's
4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. Oh, I got.
Yeah.
Oh, you got sniped at the end, dude.
Landslide, dude. Yeah, let's go. GG.
Okay. All right. We're back. Okay,
that's good.
Dude, that was so much fun. 15 seconds was.
It was difficult.
It was difficult.
I think if we both had a mouse, it would probably be easier. But I like it.
Yeah. Dude, I also noticed that StreamYard turns up the volume on the music when you turn it off, as it ramps it up to loud, then fades it out.
Interesting.
So if you guys hear that, it's like, why did that get loud for a second? That's why.
I gotta blow my nose.
Do it. Okay, chat. Seriously, thank you guys for your participation. I know there's 9 of you in here who are hanging out with us. So grateful you're here. Definitely do not be afraid to participate during these games, because we are trying to have as much fun as possible and we want you to be a part of it. But thank you for voting for me. Gosh, I did not think I won that. I thought Tan's was much more complete.
Yours had a lot of detail, man. I mean, mine was pretty good.
It was good.
You had a lot of detail up in the helmet area, you know?
Pointy butt spaceman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, well, why don't you queue up your clean your slate there and make a new one, so when we get to the next round,
Okay.
Just want to say what's up to Oliver Dodge. I see in the chat. Chris also joining us here. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you. We're talking about human spaceflight, and we're having some fun in between. So, what do you say, Tan? Should we continue the conversation a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we were discussing Falcon Heavy, Elon putting his car into space. But let's talk about Polaris Dawn. Do you know what Polaris Dawn is?
I've heard of it. I don't know much.
Yeah, it's been in the headlines this week because it's the latest, most current human space flight. And this, oh, excuse me, oh goodness, all the excitement was like bubbling up inside me. Oh, I should probably clear the Spaceman banner here as well. So SpaceX launched the first, well, technically this, goodness, no, it's not the first. I don't know what number is this. Is 4, 5? All commercial spaceflight, no government astronauts on it, all privately trained astronauts through SpaceX. So there's a businessman named Jared Isaacman, and he is a CEO of the company Shift4, which maybe you've seen Shift4 on credit card scanners at like your favorite restaurant or at like a gas pump or something like that. They're a credit card processing company, and he's a billionaire because of it. But he's also a pilot. That's what he does in his free time. But he also, like a few years ago, he decided to do a huge fundraiser. He wanted to do the largest fundraiser for St. Jude's Children's Hospital for cancer research and cancer patients there. And he wanted to use space flight as the avenue to do that. So he created a mission called Inspiration 4 with Elon Musk. And they basically put this together through SpaceX. And they launched 4 private astronauts into space, the first ever all private mission. It was phenomenal, and we can talk about that maybe a little bit more. But that's since changed. They've launched a couple more, but Jared came back and said, "Hey, let's make a new program." Also, still focusing on funding for St. Jude, and also focusing on new research and helping advance commercial space flight. So, what NASA and all the government agencies are not doing, they're like, "Let's do this. Let's push this forward because we don't need congressional approval or anything like that. We will just carry on with our own budget in our own time." So they created a new program called the Polaris program, and there are going to be several missions in that. And this Polaris Dawn is the first one. So this has 4 private astronauts, including Jared Isaacman. So it's a second flight into space as commander. And then there's 2 SpaceX employees, and I don't remember what the 4th guy's story is per se. It was 2 men and 2 women, but they launched 400 miles out into space. And for reference, that is the furthest humans have gone in space since 1972, with the last time that we visited the moon, which was Apollo 17.
Oh, wow.
So this was a monumental mission for a lot of reasons. And they were pioneering the first ever private spacewalk, or what we know as an EVA, which is extravehicular activity. So if you hear them say, "Oh, well, there's an EVA today," that means, "Oh, they were doing a spacewalk." I mean, people are exiting the spacecraft in a contained spacesuit. They're going out into the vacuum of space, and then they're coming back in. So they were testing a brand new spacesuit for EVAs built by SpaceX, the first ever privately created spacesuit for spacewalks. And then they were doing it entirely on their own. So it's pretty big deal. But there's also another monumental milestone in there, which is that this is the furthest ever that women have been into space, which is pretty cool. They've never, women have never moved beyond space shuttle orbit. And space shuttles took astronauts to satellites and the space station and Mir space station, the old Russian space station. So it's possible that the furthest a woman has been out into space is Hubble, unless someone would need to correct me if I'm wrong. It's possible. Hubble is at like 330 miles out, and the space station is 250. It's something like that. So the space station is 250 miles up. So whoever went on the Hubble repair missions, I think is probably the furthest females that have ever been off planet Earth. But that has now changed through Polaris Dawn. We got to watch Sarah Gillis.
That's awesome.
It is huge. It really is. Sarah Gillis and Anna Menon are now the furthest 2 women who have ever been away from planet Earth. And that is going to change very soon with Artemis 2, which the Artemis program is the next moon program for NASA. And Artemis 2 is supposed to launch next year, 2025. And that's going to have Christina Cook on it. She's going to be going around the moon with 3 other crew members. So she will then be the furthest female beating out Polaris Dawn.
Nice.
So yeah, so huge historical flight. But the videos you guys can go watch all over the internet of the commercial spacewalk with Polaris Dawn. Huge. Beautiful shot of the Earth. They're going into nighttime, and you can kind of see the Terminator on Earth, aka the line between night and day on the Earth, and you can see them kind of pop out of the Crew Dragon. And they also had to adapt the Crew Dragon spacecraft for this. It's never been built like this in this configuration before. Otherwise, the other forms have been that they've only been able to dock it to the space station and open the hatch when there's a good seal. Or the Inspiration 4 mission, which we talked about, they actually installed a cupola, like a window, a dome. So they open the hatch, and then there's actually a dome, like a big window they could kind of come into and look around for a 360-degree panoramic view of space, which was pretty cool. So this is the first time they ever had Crew Dragon be adapted for spacewalks, which means there's no airlock. You have to vent the cabin of all air and turn it into a vacuum. So everyone has to wear a spacesuit. There's nowhere that's safe to go to until you close the hatch and repressurize the cabin, which is insane to think about. Like that you could possibly screw that up, or if there's like an error, then there's literally no safe haven. You have to come back to Earth in your spacesuit and hope that nothing happens with the cabin in that time. So yeah, pretty wild, dude.
How do you know so much about?
Yeah,
I just feel like this is like I feel like I should be taking notes. It's awesome that you know so much. Yeah, how do you know so much about all of this?
Yeah, dude. Sorry, I am babbling hardcore here, like just going and going. So
No,
please
dude,
tell me
I'm
to shut
enjoying
up.
it.
Yeah, if you have questions, man, like, and anybody, you guys in the chat, you got questions or something, I'm trying to do my best to pay attention, but I keep rambling. So yeah, how do I know this? Number one thing is just pay attention to news. Find reliable space news sources and pay attention to them daily, because there are things that are happening all the time. Like literally every day there's new stuff going on about the next plans. There's this new mission that came up. This person got assigned to a mission. This new rocket's being tested. This new company got started. There's new photography from this launch. There's images that are coming from space, from the spacecraft. Like stuff like that is happening all the time. So it's not just like one area that, like it used to be, where it's like, oh, is NASA launching a rocket? It's not just that. There's so many different angles. So my best recommendations for anybody who wants to pay attention to space and space flight more, and this might be a touchy subject these days, I understand that, but I think there's ways to find around it in being immersed in this. But X, the platform, aka formerly known as Twitter, huge place for space news. So if you can get plugged into SpaceX, Space Twitter, no pun intended with the SpaceX there, but go follow astronauts on that platform. Go follow all the NASA like agency pages. There's like 100 of them. So follow all the different space centers, like Johnson Space Center, Kennedy Space Center, Goddard Space Flight Center, Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Go follow all those types of places. Just go through them and find them all. Follow the private companies, SpaceX, Blue Origin, all that. Follow the people who are running the companies, and follow space journalists too, because they are also reporting. So I could highly recommend Eric Berger for Ars Technica. He's a great source, posting constantly on X. And the reason why I suggest that platform is because it's second to second, minute to minute. So the latest something comes out, it's just like what Twitter was always good for, which is the instant tidbits of information. So if someone's watching a reveal of the iPhone, people are tweeting the updates live through the conference. You don't have to wait until they make a recap video. You're getting, oh, hey, Tim Cook just said that the new iPhone has a better camera. Like, cool, I know that instantly. But the same thing goes for space flight. You know, if there's a mission happening, you're saying, oh, the rocket launched. Oh, the first stage separated. Oh, they're at a nominal orbit insertion. All those things. Like, if you immerse yourself in those communications, you start to absorb it over time, and then you end up a space fan, and you kind of just know what's kind of happening, what the landscape is. You can also think of it a little bit like sports. Like, if you don't watch sports, you're not going to know who's been playing well or what teams won or lost. But if you just watch as many sports games as possible, or watch all the news recaps, like you're gonna have a pretty good idea of what's happening in the NFL this season because you've just been paying attention. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's the best I got.
It didn't. No, I'm just kidding. It
Yeah.
did. Dude, I really respect your admiration for all of it, man. It's it's super interesting. What do you think drives like humanity to want to explore space? Like it's a really gnarly thing. Of all the things that we could do, let's see what's out there.
Yes. First of all, I see some comments here and some questions. We'll definitely come back to that in just a second. So thank you guys for that. But yeah, I think let's boil it down to the absolute core, essential nugget of that question in the answer form. And that is that humans were inherently born to explore the unknown. And I think that applied whether that meant, hey, coming out of the cave we live in and looking for the next cave to live in, to, hey, what's on the other side of that river? What's in the next forest? What's in the next country? What's over that body of water, that ocean or that lake or that sea? How do we get there? And every time that's happened since the dawn of humanity, I think people have realized there's more and more risk involved. There's more danger, there's more threat. And most of that threat is against human life. And people exploring throughout time have I wonder what the number is of how many people have perished at the hands of exploration. But it certainly proves the point that the frontier of exploration, as it evolves and as it changes, the landscape as it changes, the risk gets higher, but the reward also gets higher. But there's also an end to that. Like when you think about finite frontiers to explore, like planet Earth, like we've been all over the Earth. I'm not talking about the ocean because I know there's more to it we haven't discovered. But in terms of land mass, we've seen everything. Like we've been all over the planet. We've been to every continent. We just know where things are. We can map the world with pictures from space. We have access. But that took time to get there. But I think through that exploration, getting us to modern day, history, that spirit of exploration has evolved with us, that desire to see what's next. And in the 20th century, when we got to start launching people into space, we were like, okay, the frontier isn't what's ahead, it's what's up. And what's up is in all directions. So humanity's primal need to discover now just became this huge party. It's like, it's beyond in all directions and bigger than anything we have here on Earth. So I think that hunger and that desire to be like, okay, it's like the chat. Hey chat, like the game map is unexplored. Let's go. Let's do this together and let's see what it takes. And we realized that it's actually a much more difficult thing than we've ever done before. When we wanted to cross maybe the Mediterranean Sea or the Atlantic Ocean, you had to find how to create a boat that could handle weather, carry enough people and provisions, and navigate in the right direction. But that's totally different than sending someone into space on a ship and saying like, well, we only have this much space for air, this much space for food and water, this many people, and a ship that can only endure the vacuum of space and radiation for so long. Like those are different parameters. And now we're rising to the occasion to try to push the limits of that. So I don't know. I'm getting freaked out just talking about it. I'm like seriously, because I love it. Like I think we all have it in some degree. I know some people would say, "Oh, I'd never go to space," but I still think even if you don't want to go to space, the desire to see it be explored is still that primal instinct in you going, "Yeah, we need to push the boundaries." So I think rounding it back around, it's the core bit of it is that we will always have this desire to push the frontier of exploration forward, and space, according to Star Trek and Gene Roddenberry, is the final frontier. Because there's nothing else beyond that. It's just space. I don't know.
So much conviction, man. I love it. I love I love when people get fired up about the things they love talking about. It like you right there was just kind of like me when I talk about meteor showers, or everyone's got something that they just that fills their cup up, and it's clear that this is your jam, dude. That's so awesome.
Yeah, I would say I'm unapologetic about it, but I understand I can be a little much sometimes, so I do apologize to everyone for having to deal with me if you know me.
Take it back. Dude, I don't think you should never have to apologize for talking about something you care about. If people don't want to listen to it, they can always just leave. But
that's a good point. So that's why everybody's been leaving in the middle of conversations. Oh man. Really quick, I do want to see a couple comments here. Welcome to Nick's brain. This is true. Also, we got Natalie in here. What's up? What's going on? This is great to see some more Astro friends in here. And Chris, you had a good question. Nick, what are your thoughts on Artemis funding moving forward? And I have been hearing whispers that it might be getting tight. That is an excellent question to talk about. So we mentioned the Artemis program being the current moon program for NASA. Artemis 1 launched 2 years ago, which was an uncrewed test flight of SLS, the rocket system, and Orion, the human spacecraft. They sent it around the moon and back. It was perfectly successful. And Artemis 2 is coming up with the first 4 humans to return to the moon since 1972. That's going to be happening next year, hopefully. And then Artemis 3 is the first one to land humans on the moon, since 1972 as well. So that's kind of the immediate landscape. But the big topic of conversation in the news has been that Artemis is delayed, keeps getting delayed, and they are way, way, way over budget and forecasted to continue to blow it out by the billions, which is not helpful at all. Because, and it lends some perspective on what this means. And I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. And this is why I can never be a political candidate, because I don't know how they remember all the statistics. 70% of Americans think that. I'm like, I can't keep up.
They just throw any number up there.
Good point. Yeah. But in the 60s, when Kennedy launched the Apollo program and it's like, we're going to go to the moon, the funding for spaceflight was like some massive percentage of the government budget. They went all in. They doubled down. They tripled down. They're like, we're giving you all the money in the world. Get this done. We have to beat Russia. It's the best thing for morale, for the country, for technological advancement, and just for the human species. Like, America's going to do this. They put a ton of money into the budget. It was like, was it like 4% of the American budget that year, or during those years? Which I know that's like, okay, 4%, but it's like, that's huge. Like for space flight.
Yeah.
Something that hasn't been proven, that has only existed for like 10 years. That's nuts. That's huge. That's billions of dollars. And in the 60s. But today, NASA's been like fighting for table scraps every year just to keep up with their missions. And it's not just humans they're trying to fund going to space. It's research missions, it's probes, it's technology studies, it's training, it's facilities. So they've been getting, gosh, why do I feel like I saw something about being like $30 billion for the year? But in the past, it's been like 19 or $20 billion. That's not enough to pioneer exploration. It's not even close. Because if you want to send a mission to Pluto, to send a probe out there, and you want to be working on a lunar orbiter and the next Mars lander, there is your budget. It's gone. Let alone building a brand new launch system that can take humans to the moon and back, to build a sustainable moon base. It's nuts. So that all being said, there's been a lot of talk about the potential for redesigning the Artemis program and adapting it into perhaps not so much a human spaceflight program, but a cargo spaceflight program, allowing the private sector to take humans to the moon, like SpaceX with Starship, which they're already doing for the part of the Artemis program, is they're contracting SpaceX for that, potentially Blue Origin as well. But that would offset a lot of the costs, because then the private sector takes on that cost, and it doesn't have to be approved by Congress. So I think if I were to take a stab at it, I think NASA will be stubborn about it, and they'll push on. They'll get Artemis 2 done, probably even Artemis 3 using the current system. It will be delayed significantly, but I think they will probably repurpose it and realize this is not going to work. But I think SLS will be something that gets used a couple times, but it will not be space shuttle reusable like 135 missions for the space shuttle. It'll probably be a couple. But that's my best analysis. Again, sorry for the long-winded answer.
No, it was well said. It was good.
Yeah. Do you want to take a break here and do another round of the game?
Let's do it.
Yeah. You want to do a different game?
Surprise me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you need a water break? Do it. Take it. Everybody in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us. I see 10 of you in here right now. Appreciate you for tuning in. If you're enjoying this, sheesh. If you're enjoying the stream tonight, would appreciate your support. And the best ways you can do that are to hit the like button under the video, the little thumbs up. That always helps out the statistics and tells YouTube, hey, we know people are liking what you're putting out there. That's helpful. So be sure to hit that. Also, please consider subscribing to the Orbital Alliance here on YouTube so you don't miss future episodes of the podcast. Also, go support Tan, Chasing the Milk, on all the other social media platforms too. He's on YouTube. He's on TikTok at Chasing the Milk, all one word.
Yo, thanks for the plug, bro.
Oh, dude, we get equal pluggage. We got to make sure we spread the love around. But yes, okay, I'm gonna surprise you, dude. We're gonna change the pace here.
Okay.
We're gonna do.
I'm down for whatever.
Light speed. We're bringing light speed back. Let's do it. Okay.
You
Tan,
gotta
go for
remind everyone how what light speed is.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to take it, or do you want me to?
I do not.
Okay, I'll cover you. I got you. So light speed is a game we've created where it's basically we ask this or that questions of the other person as quickly as possible until we run out of questions. And if we don't know what either of the things are, we just have to pick one. So it's just we don't have time to ask what that is. So if someone says, "Hey, Pepsi or Coke," Tan, what would your answer be?
Coke.
Great. But if you didn't know what either of them were, which one would you pick?
Coke.
Great. That's how it works. So chat, get
Easy.
excited. Let us know as we say our questions which ones you would enjoy. So if Tan said Coke, but you're a Pepsi person, I want you to be raging in the chat and telling us that Tan's wrong. All right, dude. Who wants to go first?
I'll ask the questions.
All right. Here we go. Light speed round 1. Go.
Dr. Pepper or Piv Extra?
Dr. Pepper.
Constellation of Cassiopeia or Scorpius?
Oh, Cassiopeia.
Jeans or sweatpants?
Jeans.
A broccoli or cauliflower?
Broccoli.
Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
McDonald's fries or Rally's fries?
McDonald's. All day.
Arby's or Lion's Choice?
Arby's. BLT.
A rewind button for life or a pause button?
Ooh, rewind.
Travel in time or the future? I'm sorry, back in time.
Yeah, I was like, that's the same thing, dude. Trick question. Travel back in time or go to the future? Let's go back in time.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Give up social media for a month or your favorite food?
Favorite food. I'm sold out this generation.
Utah or Nevada for Milky Way photography?
Ooh, let's go Utah. Get the arches.
Pizza or fried chicken?
Pizza.
Comedy or action?
Action.
Little Mermaid or The Lion King?
Lion King.
Lose the ability to taste or to see?
Ooh, I lost the taste during COVID for a bit there, so that was kind of rough. But I'll lose taste.
Okay. Musty armpits or bad breath?
Musty armpits.
Always in the spotlight, but under scrutiny, or always be in the background and remain unnoticed?
Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh. Let's go with the latter. There's a lot of words with the second one.
That's it. That was the last one.
That was the last one? Oh, that's good. That was a good round, dude. You had good ones.
Good answers. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I see everyone in the chat. Thanks for chiming in there with your opinions as well. Back in time, Utah, food, fried chicken.
Look at what Chris said. Pizza or fried chicken? That's not a question I am ready to answer.
Yeah. That is a tough one. Pizza is probably the most universally enjoyable food on the planet, so that's why I picked it.
All right, hang on. Let me. I gotta blow my nose real quick.
Yeah, you blow it. I'm gonna queue up. Oh my gosh! See, that's the thing about these games, you guys. When we do them, we take it to a whole new level of shenanigans, and that's the whole point of this. So I'm having a good time. But I'm getting ready to grill Tan here with some questions. Do some push-ups, dude. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Mars or Jupiter?
Jupiter.
Moon base or Mars colony?
Moon base.
Dark matter or dark energy?
Dark energy.
Living on a spaceship or living on a space station?
Spaceship.
Okay. Alien invasion or first contact?
First contact, please.
There you go. Yeah, so you can be friends and give them Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Ooh, solar sail or ion engine?
Solar sail. You just had one of those.
We did. Good point.
Yeah.
We should talk about that. Okay. Let's see. Space pirate or space sheriff?
Space pirate.
Good man. There we go. Break the law. Space outlaw. Tan. Okay. Gravity boots or anti-gravity device?
Ooh. Anti-gravity device.
Nice. Okay. And space hotel or lunar resort?
Lunar resort for sure. That
Okay.
sounds incredible.
It does, yeah. Okay. Probing a distant planet or studying our sun?
Probing distant planet.
Okay. All right, we're gonna switch out of the space here. Some of the final ones here. Let's see. Festivals or museums?
Festivals.
Disc golf or regular golf?
Disc golf for sure.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you did. Dancing or singing?
Singing.
Staying up late or waking up early?
Staying up late.
Okay, and this next one's gonna reveal everything we need to know about you. Tattoos or piercings?
Piercings.
Ooh, Tan, you got any piercings?
I do.
Oh,
I've got two of them.
yeah, you do. Is the man gonna share? Is there?
On the next episode of Galactic Window Premium.
Yes, that's gonna be. Is that gonna premiere on Only Space?
Good questions.
Oh my gosh.
Good questions.
Oh, it's so much fun.
That was fun. Yeah, there's a few good ones. The boot device and then the anti-gravity device or
Yes.
the boot gravity boots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to entertain or fantasize what it would be like to be in a position to be able to do something like that. You know?
Yeah. I mean, think about what you could do with it. I mean, could you just jump 100 feet in the air if you wanted?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I've watched the show The Expanse, which was formerly a Sci-Fi Network show that became an Amazon Prime show. So all 6 seasons, I think, are Amazon Prime. But they have gravity boots in there because they're in space, and they got to do like ship repairs in the middle of deep space. So they turn on their gravity boots and they like magnetically cling. That's such a cool thing. But also the other end, it's like, dude, I want to get off Earth. Earth is rough. Like let's break this gravity cycle and get out there and start jumping around and having fun. Imagine anti-grav basketball, you know?
Yeah, dude, I think you told me about that show, and I think I started it. There's been so many space shows and movies I've been trying to just cram in all at once. But is that the one where there's like different factions? Like there's different little people. Like some people are just like engineers for the like orbit or the outer, what do you call it, the belt, and then or something along the lines of that.
Yeah, you're on the right track there. So yeah, it's basically 3 factions. It's the Earth, Mars, and the asteroid belt. But I think there's there's like the OPA, I think. Or is that what it is? It's been a hot second. Yeah, there's the different things. And they all kind of competing for resources.
Yeah. It's super interesting so far. I'm only on the first episode, but
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Well, the crazy thing about that show is it was kind of a low budget show to start, and then you watch it evolve over the seasons, and eventually it goes from like kind of like a lower budget Sci-Fi Network show to this like huge budget Amazon show where they got this huge injection of money. The 4th season looks like a movie compared to the other one where it just looks kind of like a TV show. They became way more cinematic. more ambitious. The animation got really good. And not that it was bad before, but it was definitely noticeable. It was like, oh yeah, like they didn't have a ton of money to throw around in this, but they did the best they could. I love the show. I love every second of it. And I don't think animation quality, like CG quality or like low budget sets make a show bad by any means. It's noticeable, but you can do a lot with a little.
I love it.
Don't get me started on movies and shows because I'll also talk your ear off with that too.
Yeah, you also got me to watch the one with Chris Pratt and
Jennifer
Katniss.
Lawrence.
Yeah, I can't figure out her name.
Katniss, yeah.
Yeah, dude, super good. It was really interesting.
Yeah, Passengers.
Yeah.
Well, without spoiling it, what did you like about it? For people who maybe have never not seen it,
To be put in a position where it's like, this decision, this selfish decision is going to impact someone else's life, but do you do it at the, like, I don't know. I feel like I can't answer it without spoiling it, but it's that decision. It's like, would you do it?
Yeah.
If you were in his shoes, would you make that decision? Because that's
tough.
It's an extremely tough one.
And that's what's cool about movies who really do this well is they pose that question not just to the character but to the audience. Like you can't help but ask yourself a really challenging question, and you start living it through a character. That's like the best part, and I think you're right. That movie totally does that.
Yeah. Kayla says, I need to watch For All Mankind. Someone's been telling me about this too. It might have been you or...
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many. I need to watch this as well.
100%. Yeah, and Harmony said, thanks, Nick, for recommending For All Mankind. Because, I think we talked about it in the past episode.
Oh, nice.
Because astronaut Garrett Reisman is like the space advisor for it. Retired astronaut Garrett Reisman. And he's been on that show, or helping with the show for a really long time. He had a cameo in it, which was kind of cool.
Nice. That's cool.
Spacecraft pilot. Such a good drama. It's amazing, and I'm glad, Harmony, that you got to watch it and enjoy it. And Kayla's saying she needs to watch it too. Yeah, I mean, there's just too many good space programs. I see Tiffany talking about Fly Me to the Moon, that movie with Channing Tatum and Scarlett Johansson. I need to watch that. The Martian is up there too. We see that.
Martian's really good.
Yep.
I have not heard of Fly Me to the Moon. I'm gonna have to check that out.
It just came out this summer, I think, or this spring. It was recent.
Okay.
It was this year. I haven't seen it, but yeah, it's good to know that there's an endorsement.
Yeah. Speaking of awesome space movies, did you know that Interstellar 10-year anniversary is this month?
Oh, don't do this to me, Tam.
October 26th. Yeah, 10 years Interstellar has been out.
No. Okay. I remember coming home from that, seeing it in IMAX in the theaters,
nice.
And it wrecked me for like 3 days. I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I literally
still gotcha.
It still does. I have a huge full-scale movie poster of it downstairs because it's one of the best movies I think I've ever seen in my life. It's in my top 3 favorite movies of all time. And it's just, gosh, I mean, the thought, like, I wanted to be doing that. Like, what they're doing, I wanted to go. Like, that made me so fired up for space exploration, and the probability of what could be. Man, that movie is insane. 10 years, though?
Yeah, it's crazy. I felt like it just came out.
That's great.
Great soundtrack. I agree, Ryan. Incredible.
Hans Zimmer.
Oblivion. I don't think I've seen that one.
Ooh.
Oblivion? Is that an old one?
So that's 2013.
Oblivion.
It's a Tom Cruise movie.
Wait, maybe I have seen it. Sounds familiar.
It's science fiction. It's not.
Yo, this movie's sick.
Yeah.
Yes.
You like that one?
Hell yeah, dude.
Dude, it's got M83 did the soundtrack, dude.
Oh, I totally forgot. I might have to rewatch this.
Mm-hmm. And the soundtrack is phenomenal. There's a couple tracks in there that are like some of my favorite spacey music.
Yeah.
The feeling you get from that movie, you walk away with, it's like charm and That's maybe the wrong word. I don't know. In enamorment. There's like a whole like. What's that?
Photosynthesis.
Yes. Yes. Gosh. It's a good one. It's a real good one.
It's a damn good movie. And it's funny because I probably would have just. I have this bad habit of not remembering really cool things sometimes. Like maybe there's just like an overload of really cool movies, but I probably would have just forgotten about this movie until someone would recommend me. They would probably be like, "Oh, have you seen Oblivion?" And I'd probably say, "I'm not sure," and then I'd look it up and incredible movie, dude. I've only seen it I think a couple times, but it was it's a solid movie.
Yeah, I see Ryan saying the Jack's Dream track. I think it's the first track on the soundtrack. It's a really good one. It's beautiful. But also I'd recommend Star Waves. That's my favorite one.
Star Waves. I'm typing this down.
Star Waves is like this like synth like oasis. It's beautiful.
Jack's Dream track and Star Wave. Okay. Nice.
For sure.
I'll just binge the album.
Do it. Yeah, there's like some of it's kind of like intense tracks from like action parts of the movie. So like I'm not saying they're bad. It's just like they're kind of the skip tracks because they're just more like texture than they are melodic soundscapes like some of the other bits. The end of the soundtrack has a couple in a row that are like really big hitters too. But yeah, I'm seeing some more Christopher Nolan, who directed Interstellar, being mentioned here. Outstanding in all the movies he produces. Interstellar is definitely my favorite movie next to Contact. Yes.
Contact is so good.
And Tiff, you also watched Armageddon last week. Yeah, that's a classic.
I've never seen that one.
I've seen it once. It was one of the movies that came out, when we were young, and it was never something my parents were going to take me to. I saw it later.
Bruce Willis is in here. Michael Bay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Michael Bay film. There's a lot of suspended reality. You gotta take it with a huge fat grain of salt. But it's just fun. It's just fun. Mountains by Hans Zimmer on Interstellar. Yes, that is a crazy part of the soundtrack. Listen to it really loud. That's the best thing you can do.
What song is this?
Mountains from the Interstellar soundtrack, because it's got the ticking clock from Miller's Planet. So which is the like. I see this on social media all the time, so I'm gonna just repeat it. But people try to like do the "Did you know" moment where it's like, because in the movie they're on the planet, which is at a different gravitational impact than in orbit, and the crew splits. So the crew on the planet actually ends up spending 23 years there when it was only like, or it was like 23 years in space, but it was only an hour for them on the planet. Sorry, I got that mixed up. So like it starts off, like there's like a ticking clock, but it's like every time the clock ticks, it's like 7 hours on Earth. There's all this time distortion and time dilation happening. It's amazing how they do it. But then it gets so intense because there's the waves, That's my waves action. Dude.
A lot of great movies.
Thank you guys so much in the chat for chiming in on your favorite space movies. And I love the soundtrack recommendations too. So cool. But I think we should do, Tan.
Okay.
Do you know what I think we should
that?
do? I think we should do another round of Galactic Graffiti.
Let's do it. All right, I'm actually gonna try this time.
You are?
Oh yeah.
Okay, chat. We're gonna use your recommendations from earlier in the episode. Gosh, is this music loud or is it loud?
I'm okay with it.
Oh, okay. Man, it felt like super loud in my ears.
Maybe right here is good.
Okay.
Arrival's really good.
Yes.
Dune. Dune is good. Dune in part 2.
I'm thinking of Arrival from the Halo 4 soundtrack. Sorry, that's an amazing track too. Sorry, I'm probably confusing that. What is that Arrival from? Okay. Let's pick another word. Here we go. Let's do this. All right, you guys. So we're using a word that you suggested at the top of the episode, and Tan and I get 20 seconds to draw it. Let me set up the timer, and let me get my sketch pad ready.
Yeah, I'm Ready whenever you guys are.
All right, and then at the end of this, you guys got to tell us who did it better. Here we go.
Hold on. Here, do you want to share yours this time since last time we shared mine
Sure.
while we were drawing it?
Sure, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Here's the topic. You get 20 seconds on the clock. Ready,
Okay.
set, go. Let's get a Cassini
Dude, this is
division
so
in there
bad.
too. Let's go.
Oh.
We got 5 seconds left. Cassini division right in the middle here. Oh, and a couple clouds to give us some texture in Saturn. There we go. That's time.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Nice.
Oh, that's crazy. Give it
pretty
a
good.
face. Oh, I love that. That's funny. Oh, Rival, the movie with Amy Adams. I remember that. And Jeremy Renner, right? Was it Jeremy Renner?
I don't know
saw
the
that
names,
once.
but I remember it being a really good movie.
Here's Tans. Did you put a star? Is that a star over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, the extra sauce, dude.
I don't know what happened to the rings, but that's
It's like a hat. Here's mine. Here's Nick's.
that's pretty good.
Thanks, dude.
Very
And,
nice.
and here's Tans. You guys put your votes in the chat. Who
Yeah.
won this round of Galactic Graffiti? Tan or Nick? Daniel says it's a T for Titan. That's
Nice.
genius.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, you guys. I need to see at least one name. Put Nick or Tan in the chat. I see Nick for sure. Okay. Here's Nick. Here's Tan. Oh, we got 2 Nicks. Okay, we got 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Here's Nick. Here's Tan. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Oh, good. Here we go. All right. Thank you guys for the votes and the support.
Damn,
Okay.
bro. 2-0.
2-0. 2-0. Okay. Well, technically, we were going to do 3 rounds, but that would give me the advantage there. You wouldn't be able to recover in the 3rd round,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
It's all right. I'll happily take this. Take the fair L. That was fun. That was good.
It was super fun.
Let me-
Cool. Yeah. You guys, thanks for your participation. Appreciate the support as we just try stuff out here. The goal of us to mess around a little bit tonight is so that we can try new cool things with our guests as we put them on the show here in the future. So we want to make sure we're not only teaching you guys some things about space, but having fun in the process. That's our priority, for sure.
Yep.
Oh, you did get a vote. Harmony said you because of the star. Turn that star into a heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. Well, I think it's been fun. Do you have any final thoughts about human spaceflight before we end the show tonight? Any questions or things that you're thinking? Chat, is there any questions you have
Yeah,
about
chat. Help me
human
out.
spaceflight?
Brain's a little foggy right now.
It's okay.
Spaceflight is such a huge thing. I just don't even know where to like start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I bet we've asked this at some point, but let's revisit it just because. But Tan, would you go to space?
I think so, maybe. Short answer is probably. Just kind of depends on where, like, consumer space travel is. Like if it's still fairly new, then I might kind of just let other people try it first. But if it's something that's already like ongoing, it's already been established, it's a normal thing, then yeah, why not? If I can afford it, sure.
Yeah, cool. I love it. Well, let's go together, dude. Let's make it happen. When it's cheap
You would
enough,
do it for sure.
and when it's the price of a large soda and a cheesy gordita crunch, let's go. I'm just kidding. I'd go a lot sooner than that, but if we can get in-flight meals.
Ooh.
Yep. Tiffy says 1000% yes. She would go. Good answer. Good answer. How many of you guys out there would go to space? Yeah, dude. I mean, I think maybe we just wrap it up here on this topic here. But the last final thought: the future of human spaceflight. Obviously, there's an infinite number of things we can be talking about, but I'm very hopeful for the human spaceflight future. A lot of people are very pessimistic about it because it costs a lot of money, and I think the big contention is that we have a lot of problems here on Earth, and why aren't we spending that money on them? And that's probably a whole podcast in itself. But my stance on that has always been, that we aren't spending billions of dollars to send people to space so they can do flips. Just not the case. And I think that's a lot of where people's understanding ends with spaceflight. They think it's just a stunt, but it's not. It's 100% focused on research, learning about the human race in space. How does this new environment affect the human body, which then turns into medical studies, biological studies, physical studies. You can put plants in space or test blood or mice or things, or, temperatures, radiation and metals and printing, 3D printing, all these different things that you can't test on Earth because the weightless environment or the radiation environment, the vacuum environment, those are exclusive to space. And all those things help us get better here on Earth. So I definitely would say it's a falsehood to believe that space exploration is a waste of money, because a lot of our modern technology that we all enjoy, including our cell phones, exists because of spaceflight, and certainly because of human spaceflight. And to say, let's stop doing this, it's not helping us, you would notice a rapid decline in development here on Earth. And you would be then asking the question, why aren't we advancing? Like, why can't we figure this medical thing out? Why can't we have better technology that make my life, easier? You would notice it. Maybe not right away, but over time, you'd wonder what's going on. And we have spaceflight to thank, and all the brave astronauts and cosmonauts and people who have traveled into orbit for different reasons throughout the last several decades. We have them to thank for it, that they've been willing to be human test subjects. They aren't just doing flips. They're jumping through hoops for us, and I'm like super grateful for that. So that's kind of my final thought. What do you think, Tan? Future of spaceflight.
Man, that was beautiful. I don't I don't think I can top that.
No, you can. You can do it.
Well, here's my simple brained, response to that. Spaceflight, space exploration I think it's one of those things where it'll kind of give us a bigger purpose for just like everyday life. It's something that is kind of like outside of our reach, but also not possible. Everything else, like being the unicorn or like flying like with superpowers, they're all just kind of these fantasies that we can watch and we can see in movies and we can enjoy. But it's not realistic. But watching a movie of us exploring to space, I mean, all the movies that we were just talking about, right? Time dilation and being able to, stop and fuel up on a planet. It's all really cool to fantasize about, but at the same time, it could be a realistic thing. So I think if we lose that, then like, not saying like what's the point of even trying, but it's just one of those things where we just have to continuously push. I think it really just sets the bar for humanity, because there inevitably like there's going to be a time where we won't exist. All right, and we can't be like, oh well, let's just go to space real quick. Well, we haven't been doing anything. Like, we are trying to get a head start. And, it kind of makes me sad to think that I might not, like in my lifetime, I won't be able to see what that looks like. Maybe, but someone in the future is going to be able to live that. And it's going to be pretty incredible when that happens.
Yes. See, you did have a good answer. Don't sell yourself short, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Oh, man. Cool. Well, let's put a cap on that, and we can certainly revisit this topic. There's so much more to talk about. We can talk about it in a future episode, perhaps with our next guest. But we're going to call it here for the night. We've been on for 90 minutes, and once again, we're just super glad to see everyone here in the chat who's stuck with us this entire time. And if you're watching this episode in the future, and it's like, hey, I didn't quite make it in, that's okay. You can always enjoy it just the same right here on YouTube. You can rewatch or listen to it however you please. We're just glad you guys are participating and enjoying what we're putting down.
Yeah, seriously.
I just want to quick say hello to Deep Sky Dude. Will jumped in the chat here. He was a former guest on the show just a few short episodes ago. So what's going on, Will? Good to see you, man. We got yet another podcast veteran saying hello. That's pretty cool. But yeah, well, everybody, again, just want to say thank you. And be sure to subscribe to the Orbital Alliance to watch future episodes so you can hit the notification bell so you can get notified. Don't miss it. And be sure to watch those past episodes if you got nothing to do this week. Catch up on some fun stuff. Tan, any last words?
Stay tuned for next week's episode. Just a reminder, we're going to be streaming, hopefully every Monday at the same time, 9 p.m. Central here. And yeah, sometimes we'll have guests on. Sometimes it'll just be Nick and I. But you can always expect us to put something out every week. So Monday nights, 9 p.m. Central. And yeah, just thank you guys so much for being here.
Cool. So we'll see you all in the next episode. See you on the other side.